guys, and welcome to another episode of Everyday EDC. My name is Tyler, and today we are going to be taking this steel wheel Sedge apart and having a look at her guts. What I got here is I got two bins to hold my hardware. Oh, I didn't move them into the picture. This one just has soap and water, just a typical dishwashing soap like a degreaser. This is empty, that way I don't lose any of my parts. Here I have a Weehaw bit driver and a Kershaw driver. I have both a T8 and T6 and another T6 for the other side of the body screws. A magic eraser, see if I need to clean up any of them washers. Paper towel for drying stuff off. And a little shiner here. Last but not least, I also have Loctite. And we will just use this today. Our blue lube from Benchmade. So let's get to it. The reason I'm taking this guy apart is because when I first got him, the action was pretty darn good. I wasn't mad at all about the action. But, and I really wanted to like this knife. This was my first steel wheel. I actually really like this knife, but I wanted to like it more. And then the action started to get super sloppy, and there was a little bit of blade play. So what did I do? I tightened up the pivot. There's blade play, you tighten up the pivot. Well, once I did that, the amount of action, or I should say the lack thereof, drastically decreased. Oh my goodness. It was bad. To the point where this knife is no longer... That's interesting. Look at that. I was undoing that screw, and that started to come out. I know that can happen, but that's the first time I've seen that. I've seen the other screws spin, but the way I'm doing this, putting this on one side, and then it's a little bit more difficult than it looks. And it's T6, so you don't want to strip the shit. Like that. Focus, it's T6, no talking. So, I didn't want to just write the knife off before I gave it a review. I actually wanted to give it an honest chance. And did that just fucking straight out strip out? That is awesome. Son of a bitch. That thing just straight up stripped. Like, no questions asked, just later. Anyways, I wanted to try and take it apart, see if I can clean it up, fix the action and the blade play. I'm not going to do anything special to fix it, guys. All I'm going to be doing is taking it apart and trying to clean it up. I'll take a look at the washers, etc. And then we get to see the guts anyways. So how's everybody doing on this lovely Thursday? Wait. Fucking, dude, you guys are gonna kill me. I don't know what fucking day it is. Any day of the week. And if I'm sounding a little bit more quiet, it's because it's morning. I'm just not awake yet. It's not that I'm trying to be quiet. I'm just not awake. So what we can see here is slightly skeletized liners. These are actually pretty sweet looking. The way this goes here. It follows the contours. And obviously it's set into the scales. So that looks even better. What I'm going to do here is I'm going to clean up this washer, and then I'm going to drop it in just the water dish soap solution. And then I'm going to do the same to the other one. I'll leave these pieces here so we can see them. It's a pretty sweet backspacer. I always take these out. There's no real reason that I've noticed that you need to take those out, but I like taking them out for the sake of just, you know, keep taking them out to clean them up and whatnot. Alright, well that's going to be annoying. Has a fair amount of Loctite there. I might need a separate tool. I don't know know if this tool will work, but I'm going to try it just because it's what I have on hand. This is not the right tool for the job, FYI. My CRKT guppy. I'm going to try to just pinch it in there as hard as I can and see if I can loosen it up. But anyways, I want to fix the action on this because I want to like this knife, and then after feeling the Screamer and the Modus that Jake sent me, it's like, I feel like it deserves to be liked. Steel Will has done a lot of good things. This being a new knife, I would hate to say that they've taken a step back, because the design is kind of fun. It's a very small knife. Like, it's not meant for sausage fingers, but it's a fun design. It's different. So, let's see here. I don't think this is going to work, guys. This is the wrong tool for the job. Pause the video, I'll come back, I'll grab some more stuff. Okay, and we're back. You want to see some freaking overkill? Here's your overkill. Alright. I know you can damage your spacers and stuff like that by doing this, so don't do as I do, do as I say. There we go. But yeah, so I just wanted to fix this action up best I can, give it the honest chance before I really reviewed it and saying that they're taking a step back, because I would hate to say that. They've done so many good things out there, and they're kind of a relatively smaller outfit. I'm not saying they're small, but they're a relatively smaller outfit by comparison of, what the hell? By comparison of, you know, the Benchmates, the Spydercos, even now the Civivi lineup. You know, it's not that they're small, it's that they're kind of getting overshadowed, right? And that's not what we want to have happen. So last but not least, we got to take off these pocket clip screws. I'm doing a full disassembly, like I said. I want to take everything apart. We're going to clean it up, because we've all seen how action can be affected, or centering can be affected by the way your body screws are, right? It actually plays a huge part. So I don't know if the blade play will have a slight effect, say, on the body screws, the, you know, not just the pivot. All right, so here's the internal guts. Boom. The recessed liners, or the recessed portion of the liners. Now, what I'm gonna do about this fucking screw, I don't know. Oh, it just stripped. So this bit instantly stripped, and this was a cheaper bit. So maybe I have to, you know, double back on that one cheap video, because that thing, instantly. And of course, Captain Overkill comes in to save the day. I might go through and do like a quick fast forward on a lot of these items where it's like, oh, I don't need to take those out. Interesting. I don't think I do. Might be able to, zoop. I'm just gonna leave that guy in. I'm not even gonna mess with anymore. So first and foremost, I'm gonna take this. Just gonna wipe everything down. There is no method to my madness. This was not learned by any smarter person than I. It's just me taking stuff apart and putting it back together type of thing. So if you guys are gonna ask about a specific order, this isn't one of those knives that you really need a specific order of the way you do things. You want to pay a very close attention when I'm cleaning this up, not you, but me, as to this area where the pivot goes. That's what's really going to lock in that blade play, and I want to make sure that I'm not missing something here. So we're going to go back and inspect that a little bit later. And after we get everything cleaned up, I'll kind of do a quick rundown of what the guts look like so you guys can see them all again. And then I'll start putting them back together here. I'm gonna take this out. I thought better of it. Captain Overkill, get over here. I need to get me a small one of these. This is obnoxious. I'm not as good as Nick Shabazz. That dude can carry on like a whole topic conversation while taking apart a knife and still focus on what he's doing. We'll get there. We're not there yet, guys. So this one's going to be a lot more boring than his. You're just going to be watching me take this apart. This video isn't the most important to me. It's going to be the review of this knife, but I wanted to give the honest try to get this thing fixed. So, all right. So the one thing I am noticing about this wear already is that one side is wearing relatively even. And I don't know that I'm going to even try to fix this. But you see that? It's not wearing as even. It's wearing more towards this area. This line isn't as solid all the way around. So I don't think it's wearing evenly, which might cause the blade play back and forth, which that sucks. The one thing I am going to try to do to this I'm going to take some ultra fine sandpaper, and this may be the wrong way to do it. If it fixes it, maybe we'll post a video. If it doesn't fix it, maybe we won't. But I'm going to try to wear like this. I'm going to wrap it right around the pivot area. And just gently, this is ultra fine, so I'm not taking off a bunch all at once. But you do a little bit and then you check. So as we can see, it's starting to wear evenly. I'm going to take and just try to get the paint to wear. Because that's what it looks like. It looks like the coating has worn off. And because of that, potential uneven surface when you're doing it. All right, to the bearings. Well, let's do this. Let's clean this off. So what I'm doing here is I got this magic eraser. Again, this is a self-learned hypothesis, but I'm dipping what I just sanded off and then cleaning it with a magic eraser, trying to smooth it out a little bit more. Now let's move to our phosphor bronze washers here. Let's see. That'll do it, guys. I found the problem. The uneven wear appears to be coming from a damaged washer. See that? See how that washer's clipped at the bottom there? So, let's see here. The one thing, I don't think I can fix that either. But we are going to try. Because I don't have any extra washers laying around. So in order to fix this, I need an extra washer. That's really the key. But you can tell this, let's see here. Do you guys see it on this side? It's hard to see in the camera, but there's a nick at the top of that phosphor bronze. That is unfortunate. So I'm going to try to sand it down. Once again, a self-thought hypothesis here. I don't know if this is going to work. But rather than live with a shitty setup and me being too lazy to send it in, I would try to do that. So I'm going to sand this one down just a slight bit just to try and keep some sort of uniformity here. Not sure if that matters as much, but and it kind of gives them a quick polish with this higher level grit. Moment of truth. Let's start putting this little bad boy back together. Let's check out our pivot first and foremost. Our pivot is D-shaped, so that's good. Let's see if there's any specific side. It doesn't appear to have one. Okay. So then we are going to put the liner in. Alright. I know that kind of defeats the purpose of the cups, by the way. I'm not oblivious to that either. That is interesting. So this liner, unless it's recessed sitting right there, or unless I have the wrong freaking side for this. Let's see here. Might have the wrong side on that. There we go. I'm gonna work from this side though, because this is the show side, so I want to get my pivot in there. Get the pivot in there like that. We're gonna put this liner back down. That makes a little bit more sense to us. Let's get our back spacers in. So if this does work, this is a great video as a how-to. If this doesn't work, this is a great video on how I failed. Either way, it's learning for everybody. You guys don't have to watch this. This isn't one that I'm like, oh, nobody watched my video. I don't really care about this one, like I said. This is more for me to do the review on this knife by giving it an honest chance. So, before we put the blade on, I'm going to put some blue lube just a little bit around the pivot and a little bit there. Quite a bit. I don't mind too much lube. I'll blow it out with the... Blow it out your ass. No. I'll blow it out with the, and I'm not really putting stuff on it. This is like the residual stuff that I'm just getting on there. I'll blow it out with the canned air at the end if I have to. So, let's get that guy. Why do we have a D-shaped that's free spinning? Am I missing something? Because the unique part is here, guys. Nothing is D-shaped. So, what am I missing? I have to be missing something. Alright, this side's D-shaped. Good to go. Brain fart. I was like, what the fuck? Because I felt that with a CJRB before, where it's like, it's D-shaped, but like it almost free spins, like the tolerance is so weak. And I'm like, mother... Get that. Let's get this track. Okay. Get this on there. Let the residual kind of go boop, boop, boop. Yes, I'm a guy that uses too much. I get that. I don't care. I am not a mechanical engineer. So I don't know the properties. Ooh, spacers. Get over here. You little son of a bitch. Go in your home. Don't you want to go in your home ball? Answer me. Suck my what? Oh, too far. All right. Quote that movie, guys. It's a good freaking movie. All right. Dun, 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 dun. Yeah, I'm gonna leave the scales up. No, I better not. I better just put this in there first. Now to get these recessed liners back on, and boom. That worked out way easier than I anticipated. Okay. Let's bust out some blue Loctite. What I'm going to do here is I'm just going to put a dab. I don't want to use too much, but this blue Loctite sucks. This stuff doesn't actually lock in. It's actually released it quite a bit. So, I actually, anyways, there's my pocket clip screws. A little dab will do you. All right. Little dab will do you. Come on. And this thing has a lot of hardware. It's kind of a dumb one to do as like my first disassembly video. I've disassembled knives before, but as a disassembly video, this kind of sucks to do. At least it's not like the Rat 1. I think the Rat 1's got like 10 pieces total. So I'm not tightening these down all the way yet. I want to get the other side going, and you know, once we get it good, I just don't want to see it free spin and then I have to deal with that until I get everything kind of rolling up here. And I'm leaving these loose so I can tighten down the pivot, verify that my blade centering's still good, and go through that if I have to. Alright. Speaking of the pivot, you just want it to hit every thread. I used to deal a lot with Loctite and stuff, building the equipment I did when I was younger. A pain in the ass, and all Loctite works differently depending on the brand. They could say it does X, Y, and Z, but I'm here to tell you, it typically, some work, some don't. But the cool thing is I'm not even halfway through. Got the pivot hand tightened down, and the blade center is still there, so that's good. Let's finish this up and see how the action goes. The other good thing is it's always good when you go to troubleshoot a problem and end up finding something, right? What did we find? We found a damaged washer. And that might explain my action in the knife. That will explain the action in the knife, and it caused it to wear improperly. By the improper wear, it caused the blade play. So, somewhere along the way, something happened, or maybe when I was trying to adjust the pivot, I over-tightened the pivot, causing that washer to get damaged. That's another possibility. But, that being said, if that's what happened, I can tell you from my experience, I am not the world's strongest man. I'm not a weak guy, I'm not a strong guy, I'm just an average dude. So, keeping that in mind, I didn't do anything obnoxious to that pivot. I know you don't have to be strong to tighten it down or over-tighten it, but I'm saying I'm fairly aware when I'm doing these things, and I make micro adjustments, so I don't try to over-tighten it with the hopes of over-tightening it. So if I did, it was a mistake, but I don't think I made that mistake. But nobody's perfect. Alright. Now we can go to this. I'll tighten those down once no blade play there, so let's loosen it up just as... dumbass motherfucker. that blade play? No. I'm getting to be glad I did this, boys. Let's try to loosen it up just another hair. Actually, I should be doing this with this. I'll have more control without my fingers, plus they're all Loctitey. A little bit of blade play there. So what we're gonna do, barely can feel blade play. I'm just making micro adjustments on the way back. One more. Okay, let's verify that this is still center. The action on it is 1,000,000 times better. The blade play is gone. So I think we actually fixed the problem, guys. With this freaking long ass video, now I can do a review that I am confident that I'm not being an asshole with the review. Hey, you free spinning, you little son of a bitch. T6 screws, so make sure that you're not that guy. And be careful with your cheap bits. This bit that I'm using is a cheap bit, but it's feeling pretty good so far. That first smaller bit, basically, here's what I'm learning. These shiny bits, see how this one's shiny, that one's... I'm beginning to wonder if these are softer. Maybe it's made out of like a stainless instead of a... maybe it's made out of a stainless instead of a... like an iron, so it'll be like a stainless steel rather than maybe a cast iron or something of that nature. Now we're gonna go back and try one more thing because it does feel slightly tight. So the blade centering is perfect. I'm just trying to find that sweet spot right before the blade play starts, now that everything's tightened down, to where I still have awesome action. All right, I feel a slight clicking in there now, so. Clicking is still there. Notice how you guys can't even see me turning it. That's how you find that sweet spot. You barely touch it. All right. Let's finalize this by putting the pocket clip back on. Let's see what I'm working with here. I always get confused on what side the pocket clip should go on. I'm just trying to remember it's never the show side, but unless you're a lefty. And realistically, unless you're like a pro, you won't notice the pocket clip in the wrong spot. Like, you'll be like, something feels different, and then you'll get used to it, and then you'll realize that like 3 weeks later you put the pocket clip on the wrong side. last but not least, all right. So the action definitely feels better. It's snapping harder. It's on a phosphor bronze washer, so it's not going to be drop shut. For the price of $60, you're not going to get a drop shut phosphor bronze washer. But I can tell you that before, when I was having to push on it with the Spidey flick, it would hurt. Right now, it actually feels perfect. It's snappy. You're not... If you wanted bearings, go buy a Civivi in this case, or buy the Modus, or buy the Screamer, because they both all seem like they're on freaking bearings. If you want something like this, that's a little bit more solid, kind of straightforward, nice and clean. This is going to be more of a beater knife because of those bearings, in theory, right? Or because of the phosphor bronze. So there you go. No blade play, no up and down. Perfect centering. I lied. Yeah, it's about perfect. Perfect centering. Which the tolerance on this, you can tell, are pretty darn good because the centering stayed perfect even when it was loose. So it's like you can tell it's very, very tight. And these washers may be too big with the way that the tang is rounded because they're not touching the whole tang at all times. I don't know if you guys can see this. Let me see if I can turn this here. Let's see. So right there, you can see the tip of the washer coming off of the tang. That is probably what's going to cause odd wear on this. But we'll just see as time goes on, right? That is the disassembly of the steel wheel Screamer, the steel wheel Sedge. Thank you guys so much for watching. We fixed the blade play, we fixed the action, and we found a problem. So that's pretty cool. Thank you guys. Have a great day.